Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Lynn Carey and I am here with you today to talk about freedom versus socialism. And it's something that's really just become clear in my mind in the last few years. And unfortunately now I'm seeing it play out right before my eyes because I really was answering or asking before, how did something like Nazism happen? And I'm sorry I asked because now I'm watching it play out right before my eyes. But I think it's good too. I do see the positive side. So I never went with the status quo. Even as a child, I was very depressed. I hated school. I had bigger questions that weren't being answered. And now I realize as an adult, my education really started getting out of school because that's when I really plowed into understanding economics, understanding our political system, understanding health. Well, that was through college and right after, because that was my own personal journey. It wasn't because of school itself. And I took ownership of my life. I've never, ever, even as a child, I hated authority. I never wanted someone to tell me what to do because I knew better. I knew what was best for myself. I had an innate knowing. And it comes to find out that I did know better because everything that I was taught growing up, I had to undo because it was wrong. But the one thing I always was taught was that we were free here in America. But you know what, when I was growing up, I kind of was starting to see, I'm like, I don't know if that's so free. There's things here that I don't think are very free. And I would see people immigrate, like I know my grandfather immigrated from Italy back in 1921, and he created an amazing life for himself. He created a business empire that the family still lives off of and can perpetuate. But I never saw that happen anymore. And I saw people coming over and barely making it. You know, and then I realized people were immigrating over here to live off the system, to get government handouts. So I was like, well, I don't think people really want to be here. And then the further I went down the road to really understanding money, it's like our taxes were too high, and taxes aren't even in the Constitution. They're illegal. So this has been going on for a long time where we've had this cancer called socialism slowly creeping in our system. It started in 1871 when they instituted a second constitution. There was another big milestone in 1913 when the Federal Reserve was put into place. That's a private central bank. A central bank is based on Marxism economics. That is not a free system. And so things would be implemented in that the American people did not realize what was happening to them. And it's always propagated by the media or the news, by the people who own it, because they're usually lobbied or controlled by the people who have the money, who are implementing these systems in our government. And it's slowly. And you know what's so funny? People say, what's the difference between socialism and communism? Socialism is just another way. It just sounds nicer. It's all communism. And you know why there's so many names for it? Because none of it works. None of it works because they're sneaky and they keep trying to put another label on the same piece of crap that doesn't work. So you got socialism, communism, fascism, Nazism, the Green New Deal, for the greater good. If I hear that one more time and it's perpetuated in our commercials, in what's going on with the virus right now, with all the left side, and it's a swamp right now. I don't think the left started out this bad. What we see now as the socialistic movement, the progressives, that's another one. All these names because they keep switching it around on us because it's deceit. And none of it should be here in this country. And they've even infiltrated our educational systems. I can't believe I see young girls in their 20s screaming for Black Lives Matter and the women's rights stuff. And I was about women's rights. But they twisted it because it's not about women's rights. It's about getting babies killed at full-term abortion, at full term, so they can sell the parts. And God knows what else they want to do to it. I'm not going to go into the dark side. That is true. That's happening. I'm not going to go into that in this video. Let's stick to socialism. So that's for the greater good, right? So the community, the government's supposed to take care of the people. That's a lie. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you believe that, you don't know who you are. And I have come to discover, because I have always done self-discovery, I've always plowed through the BS and gotten to the truth, even if it's taken me years, because I can't accept a lie. Until it hits with me and resonates, I keep going. I keep searching, I keep reading, I keep looking at different things, and I keep testing it out. And I know we heal ourselves because I healed myself. The medical system is a fraud. It's run by big pharma mafia companies that is part of the socialistic movement and propaganda that is perpetuated here in the United States, especially all over the world, but especially here. If you just watch the commercials, it's so ludicrous. If you just open your eyes and break the hypnosis and see what they're doing. So I know the medical world is a fraud. They make more people sick than they get better. You might have one person who gets better for a moment, and then they have 5 other issues down the road later that was caused from the medical intervention in the first place, but they never talk about it again. That's never connected the dots. I connected the dots for myself, and I know I can heal myself. And because of that blessing, I found that God is within me. God is within each and every one of us to create great things. You know, everybody was, like I said, Jesus is the greatest example. I am not a Bible thumper. I am not a religious person. I am a spiritual person. I don't think we're even meant to worship Jesus. I think he showed us what we can do for ourselves. We can heal ourselves. We can create miracles. We can create heaven on earth. I know that. I know because I discovered it for myself. So when we say for the greater good is for everybody to tap into that God power within them to create their best life, their unique life, whatever works for them, how they want to express themselves in this life, through health, through wealth, through mindset, through creating things in the world. That's what makes it fun. That's where passion, purpose, inspiration comes in. We're supposed to tap into that. When you give that power over to someone else, like government or anyone else, to do it for you, even the doctor, the priest, for anybody else to do it for you, you're taking scraps in the world. It's not the same and it doesn't work. It's limited. You might get a temporary fix, but it causes more problems down the road. You get more disconnected from yourself. You get more depressed. That's why half the population is on antidepressants and everybody thinks that's normal. Socialism is a cancer. It's for a few people who want power. These people are narcissists and they do not know who they are. They are worshiping Satan and they have lost their own connection and it is a dead end road. So all of these people who are celebrating, first of all, the media cannot announce who the president is, okay? And I have seen people celebrating an old man who has Alzheimer's. Let me tell you something. I grew up in Delaware. That man lives 10 minutes from where I grew up. I remember as a little girl, him in the ice cream store. The same time I was with his daughter. I used to think that man, he doesn't really do anything. He's been a full-time career politician living off the people's money. He has done nothing. And now I find out the true corruption behind him. You would vomit if you actually would open your eyes and look at what he has done. He has made deals with Russia, with China, with Ukraine. He has been selling out the US in his 47 years in his office. And you're celebrating him to become our president because the media programmed you to hate the other one. And the other one represents the American dream. There is no dirt on him except what the media has tried to propagate. He is a businessman. He should be an example of what we should all be striving for, to live your own life. And you know what? I'm glad he doesn't be politically correct because that's the identity politics that is socialism, that it leads to communism, that they won't tell you. He doesn't care what you think of him. He's trying to put the power back into the people's hands. He's dismantling the Federal Reserve. So he's going to give us gold-backed currency. Because when you don't understand, the Federal Reserve is what's making everybody live in the rat race because the value of the dollar keeps going down, so the cost of living keeps going up. You have to keep working harder and you can't save. We live in debt and you can't buy as much for your dollar. So that's why you can't afford to have all these things and you're tied to debt. It's no way of living and it's making you sick. It makes you have to go get more pills to deal with your life. It's a catch-22, but that's what they want to do to you. When there's too much government, they control you and numb you out. They entertain you with bread and circus, right? As long as you eat and you keep watching that television, you don't think for yourself. So this is what I see. So people are celebrating, and then his partner in crime, the woman of color, everybody's so excited that a woman of color can be the VP. She's a criminal communist too. Her husband has business dealings in China. They're all in the same swamp together. Open your eyes. Just because the media has told you to hate our current president, and he is busting his butt to give us back our country. And I tell you, I wasn't going to vote this time around because I thought the US is on the verge of collapse, but I just thought economically, and they're going to keep taking too much in taxes, so I may have to become a global citizen in the sense that maybe I'll have a business in one country, maybe I'll have a residency in another country, because you just have to work the system. That's all you do. You have to get around how the tax laws are, legally. But when they locked us down, quarantined us, and masked us, I knew that wasn't right from day one. Because I have control of my health. I know what true healing is and health. Everything that was spewed on that TV was a lie. And if you're afraid and you think you need a mask to stay better and you're believing what the media tells you, you have serious work to do on yourself. You don't have a clue. Not a clue. I don't even know where to start with you, how to school you. So I knew that wasn't right, and I knew the whole world was being locked down and masked, and I thought, there's nowhere to go. So now what? So I really started to look into what our current president was doing. And I found that he is doing the right thing. It doesn't look like it because he has to speak in code because he's dealing with so much swampage in there. From the judges to the police to the CIA, the FBI. There's so much swamp in there because it's been going on for the last 100 years or more. Slowly infiltrating like a slow cancer growing in your body. That's what's happening to our country. But you know what's so cool is he woke up, the true American people. We still have the sleepers who are celebrating the criminal communists that could be president. But people who really understand freedom are woke. They are awakened now and they're fighting. And we're not going to be silenced anymore. He started a red wave tsunami and I love it. Because we are not even a democracy. We are a free constitutional republic. And we have been lied to for so long. Our educational system has been hijacked. That's why these young girls, they have all that liberalism, jargon, like for the greater good. And the Green New Deal and climate change and all this. Let me tell you, healthcare, our current president is lowering all the prices of big pharma. That's huge. Because you know why everybody needs healthcare and they can't afford it? Because they're bastardizing the system. They give so many women cesarean sections that don't need them because they get paid more by the insurance companies. There's so much corruption, that's for a whole nother topic. Then everybody should have affordable housing. You know why the markets are so screwed up? Because of government intervention. If we had a true free capitalist system, it would naturally balance itself and it would be equal, win-win for all people. People, you have to do the work for yourself. When I first got out into practice, my first 5 years, this is 20 years ago, I wanted to help everybody. If I could have carried everybody for the greater good to help everybody have health and wealth and happiness in their life, I would have. But you know what I realized? A lot of people don't want to do the work for themselves. And I couldn't keep carrying everybody. I had to switch that. I have to take care of myself, and I have to become the highest vibration I can be to inspire others to do the same. So I don't even feel sorry for people when I see them living on the streets. First of all, I admire them in some respect because they broke away from the system. They knew the system was effed up, and at least they are outside of the box drinking. But they have to do the work. We can't carry those people. And I know some people think that's horrible. No. You have to do the work because that's why socialism never works. Everybody has to live their best life. They have to find the God within, the bliss within, and create it here on earth. And that's how we can come together as a community to bless each other and have inner exchanges and great community. That's how it works. That's true freedom. That's true life. And we're like the only country, I think, in the world that has that. That's our foundation. And they've been trying to destroy it. I'm going to keep speaking up. I can lose every friend possible. I don't care. I will never lose my freedom, especially for my son. I can't even imagine my son growing up in a world that's not free. So you sleepers, it's time for you to wake up. You know what I think? The only thing that wake up these sleepers, I think all those celebrating that the criminal communist could be a president right now? The one with Alzheimer's, who's been in office for 47 years and hasn't done anything for our country? Celebrating him? You should be ashamed of yourself. I think all of you should go live in communist China or a globalist concentration camp, because that's where the direction we were going with the New World Order that our current president has put a stop to. Thank God. I don't even know where we would be if the other one got into office. Go live there for a while and see if you like it, because that's what you're voting for, and you're too dumb to even know it. So it's time we understand what our true freedom is, what it means to be an American, and be proud of it and start fighting for it. And it's time to wake up.